Yo, 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 what is good? It is Tuesday, the 1st of December here in Tokyo. Um, Welcome to another episode of Player Life. This is the 25th episode of Player Life. Um, let's just see. Yeah, another day here in Tokyo. Um, so today I wanted to talk about what it means when a girl tries to choose the date location and why as a guy you have to choose the date location if you want to be efficient with your dating life. um, you can go ahead and try, and if a girl tries to choose the date location, you can go ahead and you know go ahead and meet her at that location. But the thing is, it's usually the chances of getting laid when she chooses the location is significantly less. And it basically comes down to when a girl doesn't follow your, I guess, instructions or your suggestions. It usually means that she has low interest or somewhat low interest. Um, and that's just what it is. Uh, you know, you're kind of you're putting the you're giving her the you're giving her the free attention category. That's what it means. Um, it is how it is. Um, so these days, I mean, I rarely meet girls that don't follow what I suggest, because through trial and error, from from being a dirty dog and being a player for so many years, I understand what these seemingly small indicators mean. Um, when I am, some guys wouldn't, when they're starting to date women, they will just be happy to take the date, and they won't they won't think about the end goal. They'll just, the girl will suggest to, she'll reject whatever you suggest. She'll say, "Oh, that's too far," or that's I can't go there, or whatnot. Or she might, she might suggest somewhere to meet. um and that's never good, because that means she's thinking of just she either thinks at best she thinks of you as boyfriend material. At worst, she's just trying to use you for free attention or a free meal, or just for something to do. But she's not really thinking of you as a sexual partner. We got Miguel in the house. What is good? What is good, my friend? Um, Tonight I'm just talking about why guys need to choose the date location. Uh, but if they want to make their dating life as efficient as possible, because if you're not, you can just waste a lot of time if you're not clued in. Um, One of the biggest red flags is when a chick will try to choose the actual she'll try and choose a restaurant, or she'll try and take it to a very expensive place. I mean, this has happened to me in the past. This is probably, if you're out there and you're dating chicks, and you're just taking dates left, right, and center without really thinking about them. You're eventually gonna you're gonna come across a girl that tries to rip you off, or like, tries to just get a free meal out of you. Um, so the biggest indicator of that is when they actually choose the spot. Um, you know, uh, a friend of mine, a Japanese friend of mine, actually got ripped off, like scammed. I don't know. One of the few Japanese friends I have, like male Japanese friends I have in Tokyo. He was telling me, you know, he was on a dating app, and some chick brought him to, she suggested the place, and she brought him to this, like, this bar. But in Japan, they're called like snack bars, or hostess bars or whatever. So the top one is the hostess bar. It's the one with where men pay to talk to women. But then the one down from that are like girls bars and snack bars. They're kind of more casual, but they're still kind of the same thing, where men are paying for the company of women, or the staff are female, but still the same kind of thing. They're usually rip off places. Like, well, the thing about these snack bars and girls bars, usually they send girls out to like attract guys to come to them, and guys will, they'll get guys to come in, and they'll rip guys off. And I know, because I used to work in kind of a hostess bar as a barman. So I saw all the dirty tricks. I saw all the filthy, dirty tricks that these bitches would pull. Um, they would, they would do crazy stuff. They would drink fake wine. They would there'd be a price, and the men would order wine, because the men have to buy drinks for the women, and the women would just, the staff would, I was dishing out like fake wine, because I was told that that's what we did, was apple juice. But these idiots were paying like top dollar for this fake wine for the women. But yeah, I got a bit sidetracked there. But the reason I brought that up is because, anyway, my Japanese friend got scammed. Yeah, they so he matched with a girl on a dating app, and then she said, "Oh, I know this bar," and she he she took him. She took him to one of these girls' bars, these lower level kind of hostess bars, and they had a few drinks, and then then when he got the bill, it was like for $200, even though they just had a few drinks. But yeah, it was the charge, like the table charge, and the time he got like scammed, and he's Japanese, so he didn't. Japanese people don't. If that was me, I would have, I wouldn't, I would have called. I don't know what I would have done, but I wouldn't have paid it. I wouldn't have, but the thing is, it's funny because I told this guy before, when I was, he was asking me for advice about dating, because, he knows I'm good at, he sees me with Japanese chicks, and, he sees that I can do it well. But I was telling him, whenever you're going on a date with a chick, you always choose the place. You never, ever, you can compromise. You can compromise if you want, but don't let these chicks choose. It'll be bad news. It's just, at worst it'll be some kind of scam. Yeah, it's unlikely it's going to be a scam, but that's kind of a Japanese thing. But at worst it's just going to be kind of, at best it's going to be kind of a waste of time and a ripoff. I mean, you're gonna pay for a girl to talk. You're gonna be paying for a girl's dinner just for her to talk to you. When she doesn't follow your rules, when she doesn't follow your instructions, like I said, the chances of getting laid are way less. Miguel says, logistics are very important in my opinion. If you want things to move forward, you can't leave that in her hands. 100%. Very, very correct. You cannot you cannot leave anything up to women. That's why it's that's why it is actually a red flag, the big red flag when they suggest the place. Um, you know, it's not, women don't like to make decisions in general, so if they're making, they're like, oh, I want to go to this, I really want to go to this place, it's really nice, and they're like, yeah, listen, you shouldn't be, I don't know, it's not about money, listen, because I'm sure every guy in here is working on their finances and trying to get financially successful, but it's like, you don't even know this person, so why, like, why would you go and like treat them to a dinner? So that's almost like it's better in every way just to have like drinks with someone, or coffee, like not be going for like a 3-course meal with them, because they haven't earned it. It's like, okay, why, like, why would I get you, especially from dating apps? I have a bit of a different opinion when it comes to like when you game someone on the street or something. But the heady time traveler. Good morning. What is up, Harry Zikos? What is up, my friend? What is good? Know your worth in the house. What is good? Um, yes. So when it comes to day game, when it comes to gaming, a chick, um, especially on day game, I would be more lenient when it comes to taking her for dinner. Mm, I certainly wouldn't um ever split the bill when I day game someone, because I'm entering their world. I didn't, when a girl's on a dating app, it's like it's 50-50. We're both on the dating app, and women have way more of an advantage than men on dating apps. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you don't, I just don't feel as obliged to buy someone a dinner off a dating app. They don't really deserve it. But when you day game someone and you're kind of, you're entering their space, and you're trying to, I don't know, it just feels, it feels more less problematic to buy someone dinner when you day game them, just because, like when girls are using dating apps, it's you want your gender equality, that's your gender equality, and it's far from equal. I mean, the way dating apps work, you know I mean, male men and women aren't equal anyway, and dating apps are the biggest demonstration of like the most clear cut, like concrete example of how men and women are not the same. We're not equal. We're not. It doesn't. Um, just look at the statistics, and the way the match ratio between men and women, and it's mind blowingly different. So you know, yeah, it is what it is. But there's no point in hating on it. You're not. We're not. None of us are going to change it, but we just need to learn how to like milk the system, because it's pimp or be pimped in this world. You know, are you going to be pimped, or are you going to be the pimp? I know I'm going to try and be the pimp, because so many guys are just getting totally totally pimped out. They'll just, and maybe even like good looking guys, or like they might, have themselves physically put together well. They might, be above average guys, but they'll have zero game, and they will be entirely inefficient regarding their dating life, because they'll be going to, they'll be deferring to the woman's suggestions, and going to wherever she suggests, and that just adds, when you think about it, that it adds like it significantly delays getting laid. You know, I mean, if you don't get laid on the first date, that's like, you know, at best, you're not gonna, you know, if you get laid on the second date, it means you go on the first date, you're not gonna really realistically, you're not gonna meet her again for another, yeah, a best case scenario, another week. So it's like you go on a date, you know, you don't get laid, you know, best case scenario, you might meet her again the next weekend. Um, you know, and if you've already set the frame where if you've already, you know, stepped into her frame by deferring to her suggestion to go to some place, or the process just gets slowed down so much. And you know, then, you know, what, I don't know, where do you meet on the second date? If you don't get laid on the second date, I mean, you're going like 2 3 weeks then, like it's like. And a lot of the time, you know, it that slow pace in this day and age, that slow pace is just too slow. It means, you know, the girls will just lose interest, and you know, they'll, even if a guy does like 1 2 3 dates, the girl will be like, something else will come up, some other like Chad, some dude will come up, you know. I'm not trying to sound like black pill, I'm just trying to speak realistically. It's like, it really is pimp or be pimped. Like, you know, some guy will put in the work, he'll follow all the script, he'll do the, you know, he'll think he's doing, you know, the right thing, doing the 3 dates, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get laid on the third date. He'll do the third date, and then she'll say like she's tired, or she's, you know, has work tomorrow, and he'll be like, oh, don't you want to come back to my place? And she'll be like, yeah, but maybe next time, maybe next time. And then, you know, ghost, like flat out go, like she'll ghost him. It's like pimp or be pimped. It's like one or the other. Choose which side you want to be on, because that's what happens. I mean that's happened to me years ago. Um, it's a long time since that happened to me, but it has happened to me. But that's how I learned this stuff. That's how, you know, I've come through the process, and I understand how women work. Um, yep, it is. Appliance guy in the house, soaking it up. What is good? Um, Play on Woro, Konbanwa. How are you, bro? Um, Brent is in the house. What is good? Um, yeah. So, you know, you need to consider these things. It was funny. There was a Chinese girl that the one that came over, showed all the red flags. That knew I wasn't really, realistically wasn't gonna bang. Um, she was, like I said, she was chatting a lot. She was really a chatterbox. But you know, we talked a little bit about, she kept on talking about love and stuff, and it was like I was really not into it. I was just really wanted to get laid. But you know, I brought up, like, I don't know how the conversation went, but we ended up talking about people getting ghosted. And you know, like the practice of ghosting. And you know, I just told her, you know, I'm sure you've done it. And she was like, no, I never do that. And I was like, yeah, no, you've definitely done it. And she eventually admitted, yeah, she has done it a few times. And when a girl says she's done it a few times, that you need to multiply that by, you know, a lot, because like they always downplay it, just like they downplay their notch count. And you know, it's chicks chicks view ghosting men like nothing. Especially the better men treat them, and the more by the book they do things, the worse and the harsher they'll get ghosted. Always remember that. You know, uh, yeah, it is what it is. But great fire, looking fly, Mac. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. Um, yeah, so I think I just had an interesting interaction with a chick that I matched with on Bumble. Um, So I could read out the interaction. I should have taken some screenshots, but um, it was interesting because I just have that abundance mindset. Like, and this is kind of what um, and this is what I that got me thinking about location. Well, I'm always thinking about these kind of things, but this is what gave me the idea for tonight's topic for the video. But yeah, so Harry says, I used to feel guilty about ghosting. Yeah, you'll feel a lot less guilty about ghosting once you realize how many women do it. Yeah, and it's part of their nature. It's you need to get rid of that blue pill kind of old way mindset. And Troy Francis talks a lot about it. The dark triads. You have too much empathy, probably. And obviously empathy is a good thing, but too much empathy is a bad thing because it makes you weak and it makes you think, consider things too much. Like Troy Francis did an interesting talk in one of the webinars about how some men could do it being a bit more psychopathic. Obviously not in the violent sense or in the dangerous sense, but in a kind of being less emotionally engaged because it's just too much empathy means you're just gonna be these chicks don't play fair, so we need to turn the tables and yeah, I keep saying it, but pimp or be pimped. But so this chick I matched with on Bumble, 3 years old, pretty hot enough, average in Japan, but pretty hot. 23 years old. When they're younger, they're always like hot anyway, but she's pretty hot. So where will I start this? I'll read it out. Okay, so so I basically there's some conversation before it, but this girl, so I put her on ice actually because she refused. She canceled the plan, and she asked me to meet at a different time when we would only have 2 hours, and then I put her on ice basically. So then I messaged her again like a few weeks later. Yes. So where will I start it? Yeah. So the last time, a few weeks ago, it ended like this. I'll tell you how it ended. So yeah. So where do you want? She said, where do you want to have lunch? What do they have there? I said lots. She said, but that place is a bit far from me. I said, I guess we're looking for different things. She said, what do you mean? What do you want? I said, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to meet girls with low interest. And she says, you are not the one who is busy. Just being honest, you just want sex, don't you? She said that. I said, let's just say I like girls that follow my instructions and don't make things difficult. LOL. She says, it isn't difficult. Super simple. Have lunch to get to know each other, period. So she wanted to meet at a place that was like it wasn't too close. But the point is, I know from experience, when you meet someone, especially first of all, it's lunchtime. Daytime doesn't mean you're not gonna get sex on this first date. But when it's daytime and she's not following your instructions, she's not coming to the place you suggested, that means you weigh up the option. You think, yeah, it's not worth my investment of time to go and meet her, and so I put her on ice, but I just didn't reply to that. And then I sent her a message just yesterday, just sent her a selfie to remind her of, I just sent her that selfie. I just took a selfie. I thought it looked good. So I just said hi and wink. And she said, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Yeah, so I said, I'm just chilling. I had my wisdom tooth removed last week. It's fine now. So when are you gonna come and meet me? And she says, oh my God, it sounds like it hurts. I thought you don't want to meet anymore. I said, I'm down to meet. What are you doing today? She says, I have a night shift tonight. I said, what's your job? She says, nurse. So when are you free? I said. She says, tomorrow night. I said, can you meet me late at like 10 p.m.? We can have a drink. She says, it depends on where. I said, my local station. She says, why? That's so far. Laughing face. Why can't we meet halfway? So again, she's trying to change the location. She's trying to get me to come into her frame. This is just indicators that I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna get laid on the first date. Then it just drags things out. Honestly, it's just these days it's just I have to smash on the first date, or I have to have the possibility to smash on the first date, or I'm just not willing to put in the investment of time, because I have too many women that I can, go on dates with. So I just don't need to, go on these dates that, like best case scenario, I'll do that day and get laid a week later. And that's best case scenario, because generally, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're busy, this, that, and the other. And then even on the second date, it's not guaranteed. So always go for it on the first date. Like that's the way it is. Try and set it up on the first date and go for gold. Anyway, so she said, why can't we meet halfway? She said. I said, because I live in that area. And she says, well, I live in such and such an area. I ask her, are you working tomorrow? She says, I'm off, but I have a plan. She has a plan. She has another date. These girls are dating like crazy. Like they are all, they'll say they're meeting friends. They'll say they're doing this, that, and the other. They all have they have infinite, amounts of options. So you have to stand out from the crowd by not being a pussy. By not being a pussy and just falling into her frame. I have that abundance mindset. So it's funny because you can't play this kind of game with every girl. Every situation is kind of different. It's not like one playbook for every situation. This girl is like, I can take her or leave her. That's why I'm kind of being brash with her and being frank and just like open. This approach won't work with every chick, definitely not. But this chick, I'll take it or leave it kind of thing. So I can, I'll do this. But so I just said boldly, anyway, I'll see you tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Even though she said she has a plan. And then she says, I'm not going to that station. It's only if you meet me halfway, especially that late. So she's saying, she's not going, but so I've had it with her. I'm kind of like, I don't really care anymore because, I have that abundance mindset, which is really important. So I just said, the chances of fucking sound slim. I think I'll pass, LOL. And then she says, what do you want, LOL? I just told her what I wanted, but she's still like, yo, what do you want? So I said, I just came clean to her just because I just want to express myself, because, this is not the approach I would take with every woman, by the way. Like I said, it's a different playbook, depending on the situation. So I said, I want to meet a girl with the possibility of fucking. I may not even want to fuck when I meet you, but I'm tired of going on dates that take 3 or 4 dates just to have sex. I don't have time for that. I guess you're past the casual fucking stage and now require some poor idiots to take you on 3 or 4 dates before you ghost them or maybe have sex. Yeah, I'm being a bit salty, but I'm all, I don't care anymore. But it's just because she's playing hard to get, and I'm just not really in the mood for it. You know, so she writes back and says, do you think I'm that kind of girl? LOL. But unfortunately, I'm not that pure innocent girl. So she's saying that she's not innocent. She's suggesting she does sleep around. She does fuck. So she's trying to play me. She's trying to fuck me by taking me on a date. That's the female version of sex. Like for men, for all straight men, we want to fuck. Like that's our number one goal. Like that's what we want to do. We're not going out to have dinner and chat and you can enjoy that if you want, but the number one thing is you're trying to get laid. But for girls, they're trying to fuck us by getting free attention, getting free meals, getting taken out, to nice places. It's just not hating on. That's just their nature. That's what gets them off. That's just female nature. You don't hate on it. It's just, but we all have different imperatives. Different goals. So we're both. It's pimp or be pimped. You're either in charge or you're not. If she's in charge, she's gonna take me to that place, and I'm gonna buy her coffee or whatever, buy her lunch, and she's gonna bounce off and meet some other dude and fuck him. That's what happens. Like when you're that guy that goes and takes her out to lunch and buys her lunch, she has another date set up that night. This is the modern dating world. Like this is how it works. Like and they'll deny it to the grave. But yeah, I'm really good at turning bitches. Like I know too much because I'm really good at turning chicks out, especially after I bang them. And we start really talking, and I start, once they figure out that I'm not boyfriend material, just because I'm a dirty dog, and once they understand that there's no real future, that it was just kind of sex, we'll have a really kind of open conversation, and they'll tell me about their dating life, and they'll tell me what really happens, and I've heard this from so many girls that like before that they would have lied to me, and then I would get the truth out, and this is how I know. This is how I know what really happens in the dating world, and how these chicks like really do things. So she says, yeah, I'm not that pure innocent girl. I just don't like it's obviously purpose for sex. I might have sex okay first date, but not like straight to home on first date. So she's admitting openly now, like the truth is coming out, just because I don't, she can tell that I just really don't, I'm not going to play by her rule book. So she says on first date, before sex, at least we need to know each other. Does that make sense? So I said, yes, it does. I said, let's have a drink first, not straight to home. So I guess you have been a naughty girl before, wink, wink. Every guy's purpose is sex. If sex is good and the connection is good, there's the possibility of dating. I'm just honest about it. I prefer not to have to be so direct, but it's much better not to have to talk about it before. And then she says, but there's something around there. Shinjuku is much better. That's the place she wanted to meet. And that's pretty far from where I live. So, it's just the thing about being too far from your place, from the place chicks aren't going to really, occasionally they will on the first date, but very rarely will a chick on the first date invite you to hers. That's why it always has to be near your location. Chicks won't take you to theirs. It's just I've said it so many times, but the chances of getting laid when you're not in the vicinity, the further away you are, the chances decrease further and further. The further you are from your house, from your home. That's just the way it is. Because when it comes to the time, when wrapping up the date or like getting moving things to the next thing. It's like, well, how do you move them to your place? You just have to suggest, going going to your place and hope that they accept. And most of them, when they find out that it's like 30-40 minutes or however long it gets to take there, they'll think about it and they'll be, nah, they'll be on the fence. Whereas if it was within walking distance, you can just walk there and you're there. Like there's no like thinking about it. It's just like the decision's like made for them. But that's a side note. So yeah, she says, and a bit earlier time is better too. I understand what you're saying. I prefer being honest too. So I said, what is around there? Love Hotel? Question mark. LOL. Love Hotels obviously in Japan, because she said there is something around there. So I thought she was referring to Love Hotels. So yeah, she said, no Love Hotel, please. And then I said, she says, I was talking about bars and other things. Then I said, well, I'm not free until after 10 because I do this show. That's another reason I wanted you to come to my station. There are bars around here too. And then finally she says, okay, fine. I said, great, come to the west exit. We can go to a bar near the station and have a drink. And she says, sounds good. So after all that bullshit, fine, she said she's gonna come to my station. And she's already told me that she has smashed on first dates before. So the cat's out of the bag. I always tell guys it's best not to talk about sex before actually having sex. It's just, unless it's that kind of really high tension kind of, clearly a hookup kind of vibe on a dating app where you're instantly kind of talking about sex and it's very sexual. Unless it's that kind of thing, but for the most part, it's better to not kind of talk about sex. It's just kind of better to arrange a date, as close to your place as possible, and just build up that tension subconsciously. But sometimes just when they're not playing by the book, and when you're a player, when you're involved in game, when you've been doing this for so long, you understand what it means when they don't follow your instructions. You understand, so this is why you have to just weigh up your options whenever. See, the more you know about female nature, the more you know about dating, the more you know about the modern kind of setup of what's going on with online dating, and how these chicks play guys, because they try and play us too. They call guys players, but these girls play guys too by they fuck men by taking them, by wasting their time, by getting the free attention, by having like beta orbiters around them that take them places, that that will give them all this kind of free compliments, free kind of ego boosts. It's kind of like drugs for these chicks. So this is how they fuck the average simp, the average guy. But that's never going to be us. That's never going to be me. Just because I've learned it. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. She, I'm just gonna take her to a bar like within walking less than 5 minutes from my house, and have a drink. See how what she's up to. See if there's any good vibes, and just same thing. If after 1-2 drinks, probably one drink, just take her home. See if she takes the bait. But the thing is, she knows what's up now. Like, she knows that I want to bang. So, if she turns up tomorrow and if she actually doesn't flake, if she doesn't flake, the chances of sex are very, very high. Because I've already told her exactly what I want. And yeah, it's just has to play out. We'll see what happens. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Know Your Worth says new construction. That big circle at the junction of Route 206 and Route 22. Guy didn't use their blinker to exit the circle, so he cut me off. Slammed on the brakes and went over. Front end busted a little. Shit. You have a crash? Crash on the bike or something? Damn. Rizzo Rat. What is good? What is good, bro? Christian Maticio. What is good, my friend? The Haiti Time Traveler says, hit them with that iceberg, Slim. Yeah, you gotta put these chicks on ice sometimes. It can be very valuable to put these chicks on ice. A lot of guys. The thing is, you should never get emotional about these about these interactions. When I'm kind of, when I was telling her, when I was just kind of coming clean to her and just telling her, I just the chances of me fucking are slim, so I'm gonna pass, was me kind of like just being genuine. I genuinely don't really care. So it wasn't like an emotional outburst. But some guys will get too emotional and be like, "Fuck you, bitch!" Like, why don't you don't get aggressive. Don't get like, if chicks flake on you, don't get emotional. Don't let it get don't get angry. It's just female nature. Like if you're gonna get angry about it, you're just not gonna be able to tolerate being a player, because you have to deal with, they'll throw that at you. You just put them on ice. You go to next. You just got to keep sourcing. Because chicks, I've so many matches on Bumble, but right now, I get there's a lot of time wasters too. There's a lot of chicks that are like, you'll go to the trouble of you'll get them onto another messaging app and you'll message them a bit, and then, it'll just like drop off or whatever. And it's just part of the game. There's a lot of other competition out there. Know Your Worth says, hit that like button, fellas. Hit that like button indeed. Yes, do that. Do me a favor. Play on Woro says, Mac, which area are you at? I am in Meguro-ku. It's nice enough spot. Not too far from all the main places. We'll have to link up sometime. If you're in Tokyo, hit me up. Send me an email or something. Let me know where you're at. Yep. Yeah, so it's all about, it depends, if you're living, I'm obviously doing this from a city. I'm in a built up, urban environment. So, you're going to have a different kind of, different playbook if you're, depending on how central you're living. You might, some guys might be living out in the countryside. It's it really, you're going to have to change the playbook according to your situation, but in general, you got to get them as close to your place as possible. Had a crash. So damn. Yeah, I hope you're okay, bro. It's if you crash on I presume did you crash on a bike or what? If you crash on a bike, that's some dangerous shit. Damn. Yeah. Rizzo Rat said, would you say 600,000 population is good enough for day game without running into the same girls? Have you done it in smaller cities before? Yes, 600,000 is big, definitely big enough. You know, it depends on like how hard you're going at day game. Like, I mean, 600,000 if I don't know if it's a city you grew up in or what, but I mean if it's definitely big enough for sure. I mean, I've done it in a city of the smallest city I've done day game in over a long period was about 1 million, and that was like insanely. Well, I mean, it was no problem. So that's, if I can do it in a city of 1 million, you can do it in a city of 600,000 for sure, 100%. You can do day game anywhere. It's just depends on how hard you go at it. I mean, I got a bit of a reputation in the city I was in of 1 million just because I was an animal at it. I was yeah, but still known, like, Japanese people, people don't know, like, notice me, but I mean some of the girls would know, okay, I fucked her friend, I fucked her friend, I'd hook up with girls and that way. But that, you need to go real hard. 600,000 is a lot of people, man. You should be all right. Depends on how the city is, but I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, you can do day game anywhere, but some you can, like I said, it depends on how much how hard you go at it, and how smooth you are at not being so obvious about doing day game, because some guys, when they do game, are very flamboyant and they draw a lot of attention, and people around them will notice them, that they're like they're hitting on women. I think I'm more like I try and be smoother than that. I try not to be very like like goofy about it. Some guys are like, clearly they're very obviously hitting on girls. If you ever see that, there's some spots in Tokyo where you can just obviously see guys the way they kind of run after girls, and just do it. If it's your hometown, if it's a place you live, it depends on if it's your hometown too, because people will know you already, but even if it is your hometown, 600,000 is still, if you're smooth about it, just try and be smooth about it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about tonight. Yeah, and another good thing is when you put a girl on ice, say she doesn't follow your roadblock, don't go blocking them, don't go like deleting them and being like, oh shit, it never worked out. No, just put them on ice, leave them for 1-2 weeks, and it's always good if you have a good photo of yourself. Don't be worried about being a bit of a narcissist. Like, if you have a good photo of yourself and just send it to them and wink, it's just to remind them of who you are, especially if it's a good photo. If you kind of look good on it, if it's very flattering photo of yourself, and don't go sending dick pics. I mean, it's a very obvious thing to say, but some guys, dicks are nasty, guys. I don't know how girls are even into them, but yeah, but I mean, I'm not talking, when I say send them a photo, remind them who you are, just some stylish photo, even if it's, the most I would say, if if you have like a 6-pack photo, you could do that, but even like, whatever, use try and figure out what's a flattering photo, and after you put them on ice, send them that photo and just a wink face and say, hey, what's up? I'm talking like after they've been on ice, so like 10 days to 2 weeks, so there's been a space between it, so you're not like double texting, you're not coming across as needy, There's nothing more. Nothing will dry up a pussy more than a needy guy that double texts and kind of comes across as looking like they've nothing else going on. Thing about me is like I just internalize the fact that I do have that abundance. So it's that translates, and chicks can pick up on that. How many guys do you think would have said something like that to her? Would have been that blunt to her? Not many, I'd say. That would have said, the chances of fucking are very slim, so I think I'll pass. Most guys wouldn't say that, and you have to figure out as well what can you get away with. Like, what is your SMV? If you're a fat slob, if you're physically unfit, if you're not dressed well, and you can't really be expecting to, you're not going to be allowed. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm certainly not a 10, but I put in effort into my image, into how I dress and my fitness and whatnot. So I'm, but it depending on what you look like, on how you dress and all that. It's gonna, like I said, a fat slob, a guy who doesn't dress well, isn't gonna get away with like saying stuff like that. He might have to go on that date. He might have to go on the 3 dates, just because you have to be honest with yourself about your SMV. You have to, and if your SMV is lower, and you just gotta keep working to up your SMV until you're able to say things like that to chicks, until you're able to say, well, the chances of fucking are slim, so I'll pass on that one. That's what it comes down to. There's times where I probably, my profile wasn't good. I didn't have good photos. They weren't flattering. Where I could have said something like that and she would have just blocked me. So like I think my profile is good enough where I can say stuff like that to some girls. Of course, you can't say that thing. Like I said, you can't say that to every chick. It's like, it really depends. And the fact of the matter is, the hotter they are, the less you can get away with being that brash with them, just because these chicks have literally ridiculous amounts of options. It's still why day game is always going to be the number one for me when it comes to getting the hottest chicks, because it's just the online is just, there's so much competition. But no point in crying about it. It is what it is. No, your worth says, yeah, I crashed on my bike. I'm good. A few bruises. Bike is more broken than me. Damn, man, it's good. Yeah, it's good though. You only got away with a few bruises. Crash on a bike. I mean, people like get mangled. Like, yeah, it's good, man. Count your blessings, bro. Stay safe on the old bike. Seriously, yeah. Bikes are. I like bikes. I have a license, but I don't have a bike now. I'd love to have a bike in Tokyo. It'd be dope. Driving around at night. It'd be dope. It's a dope city to explore. So yeah, that's probably gonna call it there. Just take it. Always remember, just try and know when chicks are trying to play you. Understand that when they don't follow your instruction, your suggestions, that there's the chances of getting laid are going to be less, and just decide whether you want to take that risk or not, whether you want to invest in that. Is she worth going on three dates, 4 dates? Figure it out. Rizzo Rat says, how's the situation in Tokyo? Everything's still open for business. Everything's still open for business. Everything's still open. I've heard rumors of stuff that might get shut down. You know, but as of now, it's still, things are still open. I mean, I could take videos, just incredible, like packed out train stations, crowded shopping centers. It's, just people are wearing masks. Um, it's been like this since since May. There was one lockdown, and I think it was in May for about 4 weeks. So June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 6 months ago. Things have been normal for 6 months. No bodies on the streets. No, zero. I think zero. I don't know. It's sickening. I don't know. It's the bear bug. It's the biggest. I don't know. The biggest scam in human history. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. It's amazing how powerful propaganda is. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But Tokyo, one of the most densest cities in the world. You cannot social distance here. I'm shoulder to shoulder with people on the trains on the daily basis. Anyway, it's been talked about so much, but yeah. Play on World says, but lots of restaurants and bars close at 10 p.m. Too bad. That must be a new thing, because I was out at the weekend, and I was in a bar and there was bars all over. It was open till, like, we were there till like at least 1 a.m. And now that area was like lively, like there was a lot of people out. And so I didn't notice that. I haven't seen places close at 10. Where I live too, seems to be open normal times late, but maybe I heard that it's guidelines or something, but most, I don't know. I have yet to see it, but hopefully they don't. Hopefully they have used their brains and decide not to go with it. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. As usual, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links in the description. Check out my website, and I'll be back tomorrow night with another episode of Player Life. All right, guys, wherever you're at, have a nice day. I'll catch you again tomorrow night. Peace out. Have a good one.